بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اليوم محاضرتنا Anatomy Theory. عنوان المحاضرة The Joints of the Body in General. The joint definition, also called the articulation, is a point of contact between two bones or between bone and cartilage. The joints have two functions. First, they hold the bones together securely. Second, but also give the rigid skeleton mobility. اللي افتهمت انتم رايدين الترجمة العربية فما راح اترجم العربي. انتم رايدين ما اعرف شنو السبب. على كل هي قسم مكتوبة بالمحاضرة. Classification of the joints. The joints are classified into two ways: functionally and structurally. The functional classification based on their amount of movement allowed by the joint. This is the functional. On this base there are many types of joints. Immovable joints, synarthrosis. For example, the joints in the axial skeleton. There is no mobility in them. Secondly, slightly movable joints, amphiarthrosis. For example, the joint in the axial skeleton also. Third type, freely movable joints, diarthrosis. For example, the joints in upper and lower limbs. Structurally classification, there are many types of joints: fibrous joint, cartilaginous joint, synovial joints. Fibrous joints, where the bones in these joints are united together by connective tissue fibers. The best example for this type of joint are the sutures of the skull. This is fibrous joints. Second, cartilaginous joints, where the bone ends in this joint are connected by cartilage. The best example of this type of joint that are slightly movable are pubic symphysis of the pelvis. The third type, synovial joints, are those in which the articulating bones end are separated by a joint cavity containing synovial fluid. They account for all joints of the limbs. The features of the synovial joint, the component of the synovial joints are four: articular cartilage, fibrous articular capsule, joint cavity, reinforcing ligaments. This is the type of the joints. This is fibrous joint, This is synovial joint. Synovial joint, this is a component articular cartilage, synovial fluid, synovial membrane. The synovial joints types. Number A, plantar joint. The features of it: articulation. The articulating surface of the bone in the plantar joint are articulate between flat borders of two bones. Bones articulating are flat. Two flat bones, like this and this, this and this. Example, intertarsal joints. This is of the tarsal of the of the foot. So the intercarpal, the same thing. The movement in it is a gliding movement. Hinge joint, articulation in this joint. The convex surface of the bone fits on the concave surface of another one. Convex, concave, convex, concave. Example, knee joint, elbow joint. This is elbow joint. Movement angular. Movement in one direction, like a door, that is called flexion and extension. Pivot joints, articulation in the joint. The rounded surface of one bone articulate with another by ligament. Example, the joints like this. The joints between head of radius and the radial notch of the ulna. This is head of radius. This is the radial notch of the ulna. Movement, rotation, rotation in the radio-ulnar joint that enable the palm to turn anteriorly, pronation, and posteriorly, supination. Condyloid joints. The articulation in this joint, the convex projection of one bone fit into the oval-shaped depression of the another bone. The convex projection, this is a convex projection, fits in the oval, this is the oval shaped depression of the another bone. Example, the joints between radius and scaphoid and lunate bone in the carpal bones. Movement, flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, circumduction, but no axial rotation. Saddle joints, articulation, the joint articulating surface of the bones in saddle shape, and articulation surface of other bone fits into it. Example, the joints between trapezium bone and carpal bones and metacarpal of the thumb. Movement, these joints are the same as condyloid joints. Ball and socket joints. Articulation consists of ball-like surface. Ball of one bone fits into the cup-like depression of another bone. Example, hip joint, shoulder joint. Movement are capable of different kind of movement. This is about lecture of today. Thank you.